At Heathrow Airport, something unusual has been happening. Not the usual holiday excitement, not the usual business travelers rushing through security. Instead, young professionals stand in long lines holding one-way tickets, no return date, no clear plan to come back. Parents stand beside them, trying to stay strong. There are hugs, but they are quiet. There are smiles, but they are forced. And in those moments, you can feel something bigger than just travel. You can feel a shift, a turning point, a question hanging in the air. Why are so many talented young people leaving the United Kingdom? Welcome to English Highlights. If you want to improve your English while learning about real-world topics, you are in the right place. On this channel, we learn English through powerful stories, clear explanations, and interesting discussions. So relax, focus, and let us grow your English together. Now, let us continue. I have spent years studying migration patterns, economic trends, and the real-life stories behind the numbers. What you're about to hear is not gossip, and it is not fear-based drama. It is a pattern, and once you see it clearly, you cannot unsee it. This is not about one frustrated graduate or one angry entrepreneur. This is about a growing wave, a steady outflow of ambition, skill, and energy. The kind of people every country needs in order to thrive. The kind of people who build companies, work long hours in hospitals, write code, teach students, and start creative projects. More and more of them are deciding that their future may look better somewhere else. So, what is really going on? Let us begin with something that sounds simple but feels heavy when you live it: money. On paper, many young professionals in the United Kingdom earn decent salaries: £30,000, £40,000, even £50,000. If you say those numbers out loud, they sound respectable. But here's the uncomfortable truth. In many cases, those numbers do not stretch very far anymore. This is what economists call inflation. Inflation simply means that the price of goods and services rises over time. When inflation rises faster than wages, your paycheck buys less. You might be earning more than your parents did at your age, but you may feel poorer. That gap between what you earn and what you can actually afford creates frustration. Imagine a young engineer named Daniel. He works in Manchester. He earns £42,000 a year. When he first got the job, he felt proud. He thought he was finally stable. But then reality arrived. Rent took a large portion of his income, energy bills increased, food prices rose, transport costs climbed. By the time the month ended, he had saved almost nothing. He began asking himself a dangerous question. If I'm doing everything right, why does it still feel like I'm falling behind? This is the salary illusion. The number looks good, the lifestyle does not match. Housing makes this even harder. In many parts of the country, especially major cities, rent consumes a huge percentage of income. Buying property feels like a distant dream for many under 35. Even those with stable jobs often need help from family just to enter the housing market. That can quietly damage confidence. You work hard, you study for years, and yet independence feels out of reach. Then there's student debt. Many graduates carry loan repayments for decades. Each month, a portion of income disappears before it even reaches their bank account. It may not seem overwhelming in isolation, but combined with high living costs, it creates pressure. Let us pause here for a moment. This is not just about numbers, it's about psychology. When effort does not seem to lead to progress, motivation fades. And when motivation fades, people look for alternatives. Now add another layer: safety and quality of life. Talk to young professionals in London, Birmingham, or other major cities. Many will tell you they feel more alert than relaxed. Phone theft has become common in certain areas. People hold their devices tightly in public. They avoid certain streets at night. Even if you personally have not experienced crime, the constant awareness changes how you feel. Picture this: A woman named Aisha finishes work late. She walks to the train station, checking behind her. She grips her phone. She avoids eye contact. She arrives home safely, but she's exhausted. Not physically exhausted from work, mentally exhausted from being on guard. Now compare that to stories from cities like Tokyo or Singapore, where people often leave laptops unattended in cafes without fear. The contrast can be shocking. Safety is not just about statistics, it's about how free you feel moving through your own city. When you combine financial pressure with low peace of mind, the equation changes. Suddenly, other countries begin to look attractive. Let us talk about opportunity. Consider a business owner named Amir. He runs a small online marketing company. His revenue has grown steadily, but after paying corporate taxes, personal income tax, national insurance, and other business expenses, he keeps far less than he expected. He's not complaining about contributing to society. He understands the need for taxes, but he begins to calculate. If he relocated to a country with lower taxes and lower operating costs, could he reinvest more? Could he hire faster? Could he scale his company more effectively? He explores options in places like the United Arab Emirates or Portugal. He discovers that in some jurisdictions, tax structures are more favorable for entrepreneurs. The numbers aren't theoretical anymore, they're practical. One evening, he opens two spreadsheets. One shows projected growth if he stays. The other shows projected growth if he moves. The second spreadsheet looks significantly stronger. That's the moment doubt becomes action. This is not always about greed. Often, it's about efficiency and survival. When people feel that their ambition is limited by the system around them, they search for systems that reward it differently. There is also a cultural factor that people rarely discuss openly. In some environments, high achievement is celebrated loudly. In others, it can be met with skepticism or quiet resentment. Imagine you announce at a dinner party that your startup has secured major funding. In some places, guests might respond with excitement and curiosity. They might ask how you did it. They might offer introductions. In other places, the room might become awkward. Someone might joke that you're lucky. Another might change the topic.
These small social signals matter more than we think. When ambition feels uncomfortable or criticized, people internalize that message. Now let us bring everything together with a real style story. Meet Emily. She's 29. She trained for years to become a doctor. She works long shifts in a busy hospital. She cares deeply about her patients. But she is tired, not just from work, from the constant sense of financial strain and social pressure. Her rent has increased twice in 2 years. Her student loan repayment reduces her take-home pay. She reads about colleagues moving abroad for higher pay and better work-life balance. At first, she dismisses the idea. She loves her country. Her family lives nearby. Then one night, after a 12-hour shift, she sits at her kitchen table and calculates her savings. The number disappoints her. She opens her laptop and searches international medical opportunities. Within weeks, she receives interest from a hospital overseas offering competitive pay and housing support. The decision is not instant. She struggles emotionally. She worries about leaving her parents. She fears starting over. But she also imagines a version of herself who is less stressed and more financially secure. Eventually, she buys a one-way ticket. This is how it happens. Not with anger, not with drama, with quiet calculation. Now let us consider the broader impact. When large numbers of skilled young adults leave, economists call it brain drain. Brain drain refers to the migration of educated and skilled individuals from one country to another. Education is expensive. Training doctors, engineers, teachers, and scientists costs significant public resources. When they build their careers abroad, the home country loses not only talent, but also future tax contributions. At the same time, the countries receiving them gain energy, innovation, and productivity. This does not mean the United Kingdom is collapsing tomorrow. It remains a major global economy with strong institutions and world-class universities. But trends matter. Demographics matter. The age balance of a population matters. If too many working-age individuals leave, pressure increases on public services and economic growth. There is also a political dimension. Older citizens tend to vote at higher rates than younger ones. Policies often reflect the priorities of consistent voters. That can create a perception among younger generations that their struggles are not fully addressed. Whether or not that perception is completely accurate, it influences behavior. Now let us fast forward. Imagine the year 2035. City centers are quieter. Fewer startups are launched locally. Certain industries rely heavily on international recruitment. Public services struggle to fill key roles. This scenario is not guaranteed, but it is possible if current trends continue. And here's the crucial point. Many of those who leave do not plan to return. Think about Daniel, the engineer. After moving to Canada, he finds that his salary stretches further. Housing is more accessible in his chosen city. He joins a community of other expatriates and locals who share similar ambitions. Over time, he buys property. He builds friendships. He starts a family. Returning becomes less likely each year. Or consider Amir, the entrepreneur. His business grows faster abroad. He hires staff from multiple countries. He feels energized by the environment around him. After 5 years, he holds permanent residency. The idea of going back feels distant. When people put down roots, roots grow deep. Now, before we continue, let me ask you something important. If you are watching this and you're under 35, have you ever quietly considered leaving, even just as a thought experiment? And if you're older, have you noticed younger relatives talking about opportunities abroad more frequently? This conversation is not about encouraging departure. It's about understanding motivation. So what can someone do if they're feeling this pressure? First, get clear on your numbers. Many frustrations come from vague anxiety. Sit down and calculate your real expenses, your real savings rate, and your projected growth. Sometimes clarity alone reduces fear. Other times, it confirms that change may be necessary. Second, invest in portable skills. Skills that are valued globally, such as digital marketing, software development, healthcare expertise, engineering, or remote consulting, provide flexibility. The more transferable your abilities are, the more options you have. Third, explore without committing immediately. Short-term contracts, remote work, or trial relocations can help you test another environment without burning bridges. Fourth, build networks. Whether you stay or leave, strong professional and personal networks increase opportunity. Community often determines satisfaction more than geography alone. Finally, think long-term. Where do you see yourself in 10 years? What environment supports that vision most effectively? Let us close with one more story. A couple named Hannah and Marcus lived in London. Both worked in creative industries. They loved the energy of the city, but felt financially stuck. They discussed relocation for years without acting. One weekend, after yet another rent increase notice, they decided to experiment. Marcus accepted a remote contract. Hannah took a 3-month sabbatical. They moved temporarily to a smaller European city. They discovered lower costs, a calmer pace of life, and new creative inspiration. At the end of 3 months, they faced a decision: return to the familiar stress or extend their stay. They chose to extend. Eventually, temporary became permanent. Their friends initially thought they would come back. 5 years later, they own a small studio and host regular events. They visit the United Kingdom for holidays, but their base is elsewhere. This is the reality for many. Leaving is no longer a dramatic escape. It's a strategic choice. So where does that leave us? The United Kingdom still offers opportunity. It still has cultural influence, strong education, and global connections. But it faces challenges that must be addressed if it wants to retain its brightest minds. cost of living, housing access, public safety, and cultural attitudes toward ambition all play a role. For individuals, the key is intentional decision-making. Don't drift. Don't stay out of fear. Don't leave out of impulse. Gather information, weigh trade-offs, and understand that every country has advantages and drawbacks. Your environment shapes your daily experience. Your daily experience shapes your long-term outcome. The question is not simply whether people are leaving. The question is why they feel compelled to consider it. If this discussion made you think differently about opportunity, migration, or your own future, I would love to hear your perspective. Share your thoughts in the comments. Are you planning to stay, explore, or already building a life abroad? Let's continue this conversation. And if you found value in this deep dive, subscribe for more thoughtful breakdowns like this. Your support helps this channel grow and keeps these important discussions going. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.